Borno State has been on a progressive journey in the last decade, having surmounted its peculiar security challenges. The state is fast becoming a model of economic prosperity and the pride of northern Nigeria. Welcome to Borno Restoration. I'm Jessie Tafida. But first, let's bring you up to speed with Borno Today. Yuletide season always comes around with celebrations. This is Khan IDP camp in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. Sounds coming out from the camp depict celebrations are ongoing. Men and women, both young and old at the camp, are gathered in a joyful mood. African Mission Global has brought good tidings to the IDPs during this season.
Our mom in the Lord, Pastor Mrs. Folu Adeboye, asked us to make sure that all the IDP children are happy during this Christmas. That's why we are here, to cheer them up, to give them gifts, and allow them to dance and enjoy themselves during this Christmas. For the past 3 years, we've been doing it. We've been celebrating Christmas with them, and we'll continue every year.
The children participated in games and a dancing competition.
In Christmas Day, I get sweet, chin-chin, Fanta, minerals, and thank you.
I get chin-chin, sweet, Coke, Fanta, money,
meat, fish, Coke, minerals, and chin-chin.
The IDPs thank the organizers of the program, which they will remember for a long time to come. It's another Yuletide, and all residents look forward to peaceful celebrations. For many years now, residents of Maiduguri have had low-key celebration due to fear of attacks. But this time around, the State Police Command and other security agencies have adequately prepared, intensifying patrols to peaceful celebrations. The security agencies warned motorists and tricycle operators to adhere to all traffic rules and regulations and ensure all forms of recklessness and drug abuse. They also add that the ban on sales and use of fireworks is still in force. Personnel deployed for this critical assignment are under strict instructions from the Commissioner of Police to be civil but firm in the discharge of their duties. Residents are being reminded that the curfew, which starts from 11 p.m., is still in force. As such, vehicular movement during curfew hours is prohibited. While assuring worshippers of their safety before, during and after the celebrations, the command advises parents and guardians to take proper care of their children and to be security conscious during the Yuletide. In July 2009, the Boko Haram insurgency Borno state government, which has taken security as the most critical part of its developmental agenda. From the first day in office in 2019, Professor Babagana Zulum hit the ground running with robust engagement with the military and other security agencies. He continued to lend unending support to the military in the areas of logistics, excavation trenches, and payment of allowances to officers on battlefield. In early 2020, Governor Zulum released 70 new surveillance vehicles to support the Nigerian Army, police, and volunteers in the Civilian Joint Task Force, JTF, and hunters involved in the war against Boko Haram terrorists in the region. The vehicles were released at the launch of a Rapid Response Squad security outfit to combat crimes in the state. Some of the vehicles are being used by the hunters and civilian JTF for patrol operations on major highways in the state, especially the Maiduguri-Damboa Road. The highway has been reopened since 2020 after 13 months of closure following the gains recorded by the military.
We have started witnessing gradual return of peace to Borno State. Through our prayers, Almighty Allah has answered our prayers, inshallah. But what we shall do, we shall never be reluctant. We shouldn't say that peace has started. We have started witnessing gradual return of peace in Borno State. That would jeopardize our intentions. We shall be committed more than before. That is something which is very important. To this, government of Borno State will partner with the security agencies, the military, the paramilitary, with a view to providing robust security to the people of Borno State better than that of before. Borno State government has procured 3 armored personnel carriers. We are paid for the payment for procurement. And inshallah, in the next 6 months, government of Borno State will procure nothing less than 20 APCs. Furthermore, inshallah, we shall do everything possible to ensure that our main roads were open. We shall open our main roads.
Apart from logistic support, Governor Zulum has continued to render financial support to the families of soldiers who died in the line of duty and officers who sustained injuries. Governor Zulum's passion to see farmers go back to their farmlands after several attacks by terrorists is one of the reasons he has continued to support the agro rangers. The men, who are often volunteer hunters, are recruited by the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) to give protection to farmers who are now happy to go back to their farmlands.
We are
thankful for the presence of the agro rangers. Before now, we couldn't go anywhere, but now we can go to our farms.
Since 2019, Professor Zulum has been engaging the services of thousands of hunters from different parts of the state to join volunteers in the civilian JTF and vigilantes. Recently, additional 1,000 hunters were inducted by the governor to join the others in the ongoing war against Boko Haram. The governor also increased the monthly allowances for all the volunteers, provided kits, surveillance tools, and hundreds of vehicles to the units in all the 27 local government areas of the state. the engagement of local hunters have become part of the success story of Borno State. Their active involvement in tackling security challenges in the state cannot be overstated.
So far, so good, so far, so commendable. Because compared to 2014, 2015, as of now, we can say that, the yesteryears is now coming back. If you come to Maiduguri and see in the past, 5 to 6 years to date, there is, marginal improvement.
As the issue of insurgency is not a one-man job, we all have put hand in deck so that we can see the end of this insurgency across not only in Borno State, but northeastern state and Nigeria in general.
Borno, a state grappling with a decade-long insurgency, has continued to show optimism and hope that the restoration mission of Professor Babagana Zulum is unstoppable. Just like the phoenix rises above the ashes, the state is on the verge of reclaiming its lost glory as the home of peace and the pride of the Sahel. Governance under Professor Babagana Zulum has no doubt brought socio-economic advancement to Borno State. Development has been all-encompassing, touching the lives of the most vulnerable persons in the state. Let's bring you the concluding part of our interview with the state governor, Babagana Zulum, at the course of the year. Take a listen.
Security is very important. Without security, resettlement is never feasible. People have to understand this very important phenomenon. But we should also have to understand that the worst form of insecurity is food insecurity. This is the worst form of insecurity. Thousands of people are kept in the internally displaced persons for about 6-7 years who have no access to the agricultural lands. And there is a donor fatigue now. The NGOs can no longer sustain feeding of our internally displaced persons. Government of Borno also can't. And therefore, the only solution left for us is for us to ensure that the IDPs are returned to their ancestral locations. That is one, where there is security. But where there is no security, they have to be relocated to areas where there is security. And that is why President Buhari has provided for the construction of our 10,000 housing units to internally displaced persons to be relocated. We have started relocation, but we are very mindful of the security situation. For us to return population to their villages, we must have clearance from the Nigerian army that the areas of return are safe, and that is why IDPs are to be returned based on safe and voluntary manner as enshrined in the Kampala Convention.
You've achieved quite a lot. Recently, the president was here and he commissioned some of the projects you've accomplished, and he says he's impressed with this. What should people of Borno expect from you in your second phase of administration?
They should expect more than what I did before.
Okay.
Yes, because it's not enough for me. Once you say, I say that what I did is quite enough, then I can't do much. For me, I think it's not enough. My dream to the people of Borno State are as follows. One, there should be an enabling environment for farmers and for businessmen, both small and medium-scale enterprises and large businessmen, to do their normal business activities without hitch. That means security will never be compromised. Agriculture is key.
Okay.
And then next, we want to create jobs as many as possible. And then most importantly, we want to ensure that We have teachers, doctors, and health personnel at our primary school level and primary health care systems. This is very key. Without having these key ingredients, security, agriculture, job creation, education, health and water supply, nothing will be feasible. Yes, we have built more homes. Yes, we have built more clinics. Yes, we have built more schools. But the most important thing is the human capacity development. We want to ensure that we have enough teachers, we have enough doctors. Right now, we don't have enough doctors. We don't have enough health personnel teachers. We don't have qualified teachers in our primary school. And I don't want to deceive people of Borno State that we have enough. We don't have. We don't have qualified teachers. And therefore, I shall provide more.
Your Excellency, talking about infrastructural development, we've seen a gigantic investment in that. And then Borno State is having, for the first time, a flyover. Can you talk us through this investment?
While the investment in infrastructure were done because of two main reasons. One, in order to provide services to the people, because these are services, essential services. You are getting what I'm saying? Two, we wanted to address the issue of unemployment. You can see thousands of homes that we build. Can you imagine how many hundreds, thousands of youths were recruited in the course of constructing these houses? So the nexus between infrastructure and job creation need not to be overemphasized. You can see the custom bridge and you can see thousands of youths that are gainfully employed in this area for the last 1 year. This is one. The second aspect is for us to create access. For example, the Munagara, the custom bridge. Custom is one of the densely populated areas in Borno State, in Maiduguri Metropolitan, one of the congested areas. Vehicular movement sometimes is very difficult. So we want to ease things to people. It's not by, we are not just saying, okay, we want to have bridge flyover. This is one of the recommendations that has been given to me by the Nigerian Society of Engineers. They worked and then they submitted a document to me during my electioneering campaign period. And indeed, the people of Borno State have requested that I should provide a flyover in the custom area and another flyover in the post office area. A feasibility study was conducted and then we found out that a flyover in the custom area is key, it's necessary. Why a flyover in the post office area is not necessary? Because we can expand the existing facilities to reduce the over-congestion. And that was the reason why we started this one. Road networks are very important. Even for us to ensure free movement of agricultural produce. So these are critical infrastructures that are meant to address the essential services requirements of the people, and then two, to provide jobs to the teeming population growth of Borno State.
Now you talked about poverty alleviation, and you have invested massively on Vocational Institute. I visited one at Muna, and I saw the kind of machineries put in place. What's the philosophy behind that establishment? Again,
we want to address the root causes of the insurgency, which are not limited to pandemic poverty, pervasive illiteracy, and unemployment, among others. And that is why we created few vocational training centers in the state. And you have seen the vocational training center. It's not a glorified one. The vocational training center was well equipped. We spent nothing fewer than about 4 billion naira or even more to establish a vocational training center that has the capacity to provide training, 14 trades, training to our youth in the areas of 14 trades, ranging from electrical installations, tiling, plumbing, carpentry, among others. So my wisdom is to ensure that those that are trained, those that will be trained will become self-reliant. We don't want people to depend on government, and then we want to create jobs, create opportunities that people will be on their own. And that has informed the decision of the government of Borno State to establish more vocational training centers and also renovate the existing vocational training centers. So I think we budgeted not less than about 20 billion naira in order to rehabilitate and then establish new vocational training centers in the state within the span of my administration. And so far so good, we have started well. And it is also one of my electioneering promises to the people of Borno State. It's one of the agenda of my Tech-in-Fact agenda.
Okay. So as the executive governor of Borno State, overseeing the hem of affairs of the state, what message do you have to your people?
My message to the people of Borno State is that we shall first of all unite together in trying to address the lingering problem of security in the state. Unity is very important. We have to work together as a team. And then we have to also collaborate with the Nigerian military and paramilitary with a view to meeting the state objectives. This is very important. Then my second call to the people of Borno State is that we shall be patient enough. We shall also collectively continue to pray for peace to reign in the state and in the nation at general. But most importantly, we shall never be lazy. We shall try to work so that we can earn our means of livelihood. Let's go to our farmlands. Let's work hard to sustain ourselves. Government alone can never sustain the people. This is key. Then the last but not the least is for the people to become resilient enough. If somebody wants to maintain peace in the state, sustainable peace in the state, then we must ensure, we must be resilient with a view to providing that the environment that is peaceful, environment that is cohesive. We have to also be very strong and defeat the insurgents also, while calling upon all those who are doing this bastardly act to surrender and lay their arms. Most of them are our own children. Government of Borno State will open opportunities for them to come in and see how we can integrate them into the system. I express my appreciation to all people of Borno State, be it within or outside Nigeria, for the enormous support and enormous prayers that they have been rendering to me and indeed to the nation in general. I also want to use these opportunities to all Nigerians. In fact, my supporters cut across the length and breadth of the nation, and I remain eternally indebted to all of them. And I promise to become steadfast, to become more courageous, firm, and then committed ever than before to the noble objective of repositioning Borno State to greater heights.
Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, thank you for your time on Borno Restoration. And that's our package on this edition of Borno Restoration. But next week, we will be talking to residents of Borno State on their expectations for the new year. Thanks for watching. I'm Jessie Tafida, wishing you a prosperous new year.